So we're going to get into our 4.5 notes right now, and we're going to skip all the way down to example number 3. We're going to skip the first part for our lesson. And in the last lesson, we learned how to do a scatter plot. So here's a table of values right here that shows the time of several eruptions of the geyser Old Faithful and the minutes until the next eruption. So first, let's go ahead and remember how to do our scatter plot here. Your x values are always list 1, your y values are always list 2. So from yesterday, you go to your stat button here, and then you click enter on edit and make sure these are all cleared out. If there's numbers in there, you go to the top and press clear and then press enter. So I'm going to go ahead and type in these numbers. So 2, 3.7, 4.2, 1.9, 3.1, 2.5, 4.4, 3.9. All right, so there's my first list. And now the y values are going to be 60, 83, 84, 58, 72, 62, 85, and 85. They end at the same row. And from yesterday, remember, you go to second. And then after you hit second, you go to the y equals, and let's turn this on. And then zoom 9, which is zoom stat, and we can see what this looks like. So, oops, I need to go to my y equals really quick and clear out what's in there. So if I go to graph, I can see my plot here. And so it says, use a graphing calculator to find the equation of a line. So right now, that's just the points. We want to find the equation. So to do that, here's what we do. Now we go to stat. But then, so to do this part, you were going to go to stat. After you go to stat, you're going to go to calculate. And then you're going to go to linear regression. Now, before we do that, you have to set up your calculator at the very, very, very beginning. So before we do anything, I want you to go to your home screen. So let's go to second quit, and then hit the second button. At the very bottom, the 0 button says catalog. So go to catalog, and you're going to see all these options here. We're going to scroll down to the D's, and this is so that we can do something later. Lots of clicking for me. You do this once when you turn on your calculator. If you're using the one in your Chromebook, you're going to probably do this every time we do this type of problem. And get all the way down to the D's. There is a diagnostic code. We want to click on where it says diagnostic on. Press enter. It shows this. We press enter again, and it says done. That's going to be important for later. So now we're going to go back and go to stat, calculate, linear regression. Stat, calculate, linear regression. I like to use the one that says AX plus B. It's sort of like MX plus B. There's another one down here that says A plus BX, but then you get confused with the B. So I'm just going to press enter, and then depending on your calculator, just keep pressing enter or press enter just once, and then it's going to give you all this information. So here's what we're going to pull out. The A, notice, is in front of the X, so that's your slope. So here, the A is 11.99, also known as my slope. The B is 35.1, we'll round, 11. So this is the equation, y equals 11.99x plus 35.11. So there's my equation. So what we're going to do right now is, before we view that, let's look at part B. It says identify and interpret the correlation coefficient. This is known as your R value. So notice my R value here says 0.9787. I'm going to just round it to 3, so 0.979. So R equals 0.979. All right, so we'll talk about what that means here in a second. Let's go ahead and go back to part A. So we're going to go to my y equals now and type in 11.99x plus 35.11, and then I'm going to hit graph. And this line should model our data, which that looks pretty good. Now, this R value is, for this next part, it says interpret it. Here's what we need to know about an R value, is R values can range from 0 to +1 and from 0 to -1. -1 means it has a strong negative correlation. +1 means a strong positive correlation. If you get something that's like halfway, so let's say you have like -0.5 or boom, +0.5, this would be called sort of like a weak negative correlation, or +0.5 would be a weak positive correlation. So we talked about things having a positive or negative correlation or no correlation. So the 0 would be no correlation here. And if something's positive, it means they're more likely, doesn't mean they're exactly related, just means the numbers are really close to that model. And notice how far apart these points are from the line. And as they're further away, you're probably going to have a weaker correlation. So in this example, that 0.97 means we have a strong positive correlation. When it says interpret the slope, I'm not going to worry about interpreting it. We already found those. I'm just going to write down that my slope is 11.99 and my y value, sorry, my y-intercept is 35.11. All right, that is our notes for the day. That's it, that quick, that easy. Best of luck to you. If you have any questions, please reach out.